Welcome to the Side Action, episode 31 of season 7. My name is Jim Weglars, aka Wegs. You can follow me at Wegs Pool on X and on Instagram.
And I'm Coop. You can check me on Instagram at Dalton Cooper, on X at Mr. Grumpy Gills. Wake's Pool participant, I got to add this time of year. So it's
Congratulations.
we'll see what happens. I just hope I don't get the shirt. That's all I got to say. Honestly, it's more like torture because it's like, oh my God, like all I'm doing is putting myself in a position to lose. It feels like because I'm probably never going to win. That's okay. But as long as I don't lose. So we'll see. But yeah, check us out.
It's a tough pool to win. It's I'm not gonna say easy to lose because it's 1 out of 6. I think it's 163, but I haven't checked everybody put in their picks. I've been a little busy out here in Vegas. I know Nicole keeps texting me thinking she's going to be the shirt winner. I'm like, yay. And I know somebody
Nice.
I know, one of my attorneys for work also said he's going to be it. So it's nice to actually know the person. I like to take a picture with the person when they get the
Yeah.
shirt. So then somebody knows, oh, that's Wegs instead of the guy who's flipping me off.
Yeah, or the person wearing the shirt is thinking that.
Right.
Yeah, that's funny.
Who's that
Yeah.
Asian guy you had? I thought that was you, Wegs. I'm like, well, I'm not, that's not me, but
How many
I
people first
understand.
time met you and you were like, and they thought you were Asian because of that?
Many people for
Oh
especially
my God.
volleyball community like 4 years ago, they're
Yeah.
like, I never knew that was you because my Facebook and Instagram is Wegs Pool, right? Like it's not
Right.
me, and it's also not my picture. So it's a miracle that I have any
That's so
friends on
funny.
Facebook. So,
That's awesome.
how's your week been so far?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Just we're preparing to move, so just checking all those boxes. But yeah, I mean, come on, you're in the Flamingo. Why are we talking about me? What do you like? You went to
Well,
stadium swim yesterday. Come on, what are we doing here?
it's not all about me, but yes, I'm looking at Caesars out my window right now. I'm at the Flamingo. It's been fun. The Night Ranger. We've got a new nickname for Paul Dempsey, aka Mr. High Low, because he was here with me both Wednesday night, which I had this dude had a monster roll Wednesday night. It was so great. I'm just like, dude, it was kind of regular, kind of losing money. Dempsey doesn't play craps; he's going playing roulette or something, and then this one dude gets on there and just crushes it. He had all the numbers except the 12, cleared the bonus, got the lows a second time. He
Heck
was
yeah.
just pounding the 10 and 4. I ended up having $400 on each of the 10 and 4. So every time I won, I was winning like 800 bucks. I ended up getting, I got, I was up, I left, I was down to like, I bought in for 5. I was down to like 152. He brought me all the way to like 2 grand. I'm like, I'm out of here. Like, screw this. I'm out of
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah. Have a
that
nice
was like,
night. Thanks, guys.
that was a nice
That's funny.
start. There's some Canadian ladies next to me. I was trying to teach them how to play. It was pretty fun. And then Stadium Swim was yesterday, it was a little cooler than obviously September was hot as hell. It's been cool and a little windy, so it wasn't like the normal hey, but it's still Stadium Swim was awesome. Checking out the games. The downside was all the damn favorites were covering, so Jimmy Wanks' little upset party was not good.
Yeah.
We played a little bit downtown at both Golden Gate, which had like a trampoline table, dude. Every time you hit, like, you know me, I have a low throw. It was like skipping out. I had both dice go out of the goddamn table. I'm like, this is a joke. This
Wow.
table's a joke, right? So then I did, man, okay, but Paul rolled, but he's not a craps guy. He's like, full disclosure, I'm a bad crasher. I'm like, dude, just roll. So he was betting the high low, which is the 2 or the 12
Yeah.
on his first roll. And he bet like 25 bucks. He hits the 12 right away. He
Hell
hit the
yeah.
12. And it paid like 250. Bam, right there.
Nice.
And then he rolled pretty good. He even got a point and everything. And then he did it again. He rolled it again.
Oh,
He
the
hit the
12.
sec. He hit another high low. I
Nice.
was like, this dude is amazing. I was like, and it was just like him and me and one other guy at the table. It's pretty funny. So
Hell
then
yeah.
I lost a little money. We went to Golden Nugget, which it's definitely a place you should go next time. Old G place, but they remodeled it. A lot of craps tables, a little bit smaller, but it was fun. They had the bonus, unlike the circuit places. And then, after taking my beating at both Sportsbook and at craps, I'm like, let me take a nap, reset. Dave Strickland's on the way, Arizona Dave. And then last night, we were just boozing. I had a bunch of drinks, and then we finally went over to Park MGM. It was hard to find tables. The place is a jam, right? Every table on the strip is 25. And then finally, we get over to park, we get some spots, and I have this new system that's kind of more like very conservative. And then Jimmy Wiggs gets the dice, but guess what? Dave went to bed. I'm like, Dave, I'm gonna roll. That's fine. I hit like 4 points. The
Hell
whole
yeah.
table was going nuts. I probably won myself $400 or something. And then next guy, he did great. So I left up, I was down again. Like you'd say how it goes, like, bought in for 6, down to 3, 4, up to 8 when I throw. Then the other guy, I left the table, whatever. I was up like, I guess another $1,000 or something. So
Hell yeah,
anyway,
man. Look at
all
you.
good.
High
But the thing
roller.
is, it's like,
Yeah.
we're on the roller coaster. So overall
You're
for the
living
trip,
up to
I'm
that
up like a
jacket.
grand. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
living up to that high roller. Yeah, finally. Yeah.
Yeah, something. So I'm like up a grand for the trip because I kind of was like lost, like it was like lost 7, back up. It's like So we'll
Yeah.
see. Today is going to be, our primetime Murphy he's flying in at like 8 o'clock at night, and we're going to check out a
Uh,
show. A friend is in a show, and then we'll hit Venetian and roll, and then I will probably go over to Westgate where Dave stays. It's cheaper, and just see how that rolling is tomorrow, and then I fly out tomorrow, like on the red eye. So, and then I'll get my write up in for the Wegs pool, do my little Kermit the Frog really fast. And you'll see an update on
nice.
Sunday.
I'm glad you know that meme. That's so great. Hell
It's the
yeah,
best meme. So,
man. How's the
we're,
you got a little cough going on? I mean, you gotta be
well,
careful. There's a sickness going on in Vegas. Jordan came back and he's been
is that
sick as a
right?
dog. Yeah.
It's possible, but the problem is the smoking, right? I'm not a
Yeah.
smoker, especially the downtown casinos. My eye was all twitchy yesterday afternoon
No,
when I was in
it's
those
driving you nuts,
casinos
eh?
for a few hours.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of feeling better, but I've had this cough for a while. It's just now being in the casinos, voice,
Oh yeah.
vocal strain. I'll be okay, but hopefully I don't get,
Yelling at the TV. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yelling. Oh my God. Yeah. Last night, well, we'll get to that in a minute, but,
Yeah, go ahead.
well, let's get into the shed. We got to kind of roll through this. I got an appointment this morning. So, who you got in the shed this week?
I had to put the Cubs in the shed. So
Yeah.
they played the Tokyo series. I don't know if you caught any of the games Tuesday or Wednesday, but they got beat Tuesday 4-1, and then Toronto got beat on Wednesday 6-3. So tough when you score 4 runs in 2 games. So that's pretty tough when their offense looked decent in spring training. I don't know if you were following MLB at all, but yeah, tough. It's just we have a villain in baseball, and it's the Los Angeles Dodgers. But yeah, the Cubs have a lot of promise this year. But I was pretty excited about them. If you listen, I don't know if just because it's the only team we have, maybe that's the reason why we're excited. But
Wait a
yeah,
second. What are you saying? I was wearing my Sox hat proudly at the stadium swim yesterday. And
hell
people are
yeah,
like, "Oh, Sox fan, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still a fan."
I'm still a fan. Nice. Yeah, somebody's got to enjoy the stadium food.
Yeah. Well, I've got UC. I've got the first timers. The first timers did not fare well. Coop, UC
No,
San Diego, High Point, Omaha, and SIU. What is Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. We got that during the season there. You know, UC San Diego. We'll talk a little more about it later. They had a really good shot, and that was when I was yelling and screaming because I thought finally was going to be an underdog here. And High Point played good for a while. They actually cut it to like 2 or 3, about 8 minutes to go, and then Purdue closed the door. In Omaha, they had a good first half, and then it
yeah,
was just see ya. So
I think it was more
it's
of a
tough
bad
to
John's first half. I think it was a
yeah,
bad first half by St. John's more than it was a good half for Omaha.
right, right. And then
So
the other one, I'm sorry, Coop, and I don't know if you put a future up with them in the Wegs pool, but Clemson, 13 points in the first half. I mean, what was
yeah,
funny is, we were rolling at that point. I'm like, oh my God, Clemson, like, what the hell's the matter with them, right? And here's the thing. I saw them score, and I'm like, well, it's definitely going to be an under game, right? Right? No. They storm back in the second half. They score like 50 some points in the second half, and it's 69 60, 69 67. They go over the total. I'm like, you
yeah.
pieces of garbage. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to lose, just lose. But no, they try to do
Yeah.
you right, Coop, but they could not get it done, and then they get snipped in that one. So
We should have known better when McNeese's head coach was like a Clemson alma mater. Like you should have
yeah,
known that was going to be like his Super Bowl and like their Super Bowl. Like that was going to be the biggest game that they've ever played, basically.
Well, they were the hot pick last year, and they didn't come through right, but this year they did. So, I mean, good for them. Will Wade, former LSU guy. So they look pretty good. I mean, of course, they had to fend them off at the end.
Yeah,
So what?
they're the team with the equipment manager, right? It's got like the boom boxes and the
Yes,
NIL deals. Yeah, shout out to him. I can't remember his name. Forgive me, but
I
yeah.
don't know his name, but I've seen the boom boxes, and he's got a bigger TikTok following than us, I think, possibly.
Well, yeah, more bots. Ew.
What about Club Dub, Coop? What do you got, Club Dub?
Like I had Bronny James. He had
Mm.
a season high 17 points last night. They got blown out by the
Oh,
Bucks, but hey, this is probably the only time that Bronny's had something to stand on as far as like does he actually belong in the NBA? So I don't know. I just conspiracy theorist here. Do you think like LeBron like told everybody pregame like, hey, if we start getting blown out, if he gets in, like start giving him
what a
some
score.
because some of them look like pretty easy layups, and I don't know if you watched some of the highlights, but yeah, a lot of it was
Mm.
just like around the basket, here and there. So we'll see though. Hey, he's in clubbed up. He's got 17, and he's validated for at least a day.
Well, after Stephen A, it was LeBron went up to Stephen A. Is that right? And he said, keep your son's name out of your mouth, kind of thing.
Basically,
So
yeah.
good for Bronny, but I'm not really sure he's long for the NBA. But you never know. He's young. He's a young guy. See what happens.
We'll see.
For me, I got the Big Ten. Big Ten, baby. 4-0 starting yesterday. They covered all the numbers. They played well. They were underseeded in this tournament, as we kind of described, and they came through, and including the Michigan one, who they had to fight to get that cover, but they did it.
Had to sweat.
Wisconsin played well, and they didn't cover the first half on Montana, but they played really well. So good job, Big Ten, showing up, whereas the SEC is kind of losing teams left and right, which they should. And I should have put this in. I'm sorry, this was supposed to be this was supposed to
In
be
the shed.
yeah. This supposed to be the table limits, but let's just leave it at the Big Ten, those 4 teams, and so on. So, well, let's talk about the starts. We obviously, fast start yesterday. There was also the first 4 games, which I was getting pretty excited about. When Texas was beating Xavier by 10, 12 points.
And then Xavier comes back. Let's go. Oh, yeah, let's go. I told you they're going to the Sweet 16. It's gonna be exciting.
They really shot well in the second half. They were like unbelievable. But that was a hell of a game, and obviously North Carolina rolled in their game. So, is this your note about what happened with?
Yeah, I looked at it this morning. I was taking track of that. Yeah.
Okay, so you got mostly overs in this, first day, which is it's interesting. Like when you watch the game, sometimes they start off really slow, and I've done some in games. That was how I kind of clawed my way back after getting crushed. Like I probably lost $400 in the first 3 hours. I'm like, Jesus,
Oh man.
maybe I need to like reassess my life. And so then I kind of slowly started doing totals, and I'm like, let me claw this back. It was like live totals. I was getting a lot of unders actually, because then it would shoot up, and you're like, okay, or it would shoot down. I was kind of playing with that. The
You're
only
like
skill
your gym second half legs. I just thought of your
I
new
am.
nickname.
I
Yeah.
am. I was able to claw back like $150 back. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is a grind. So maybe today's units are 25. I started with $50 units, and I was like 2-7 or 2-8 or something. It was terrible. So then I went back to 25. So I'm managing the bankroll. We're okay.
Yeah.
Thank God the rolls are working.
No
So
kidding.
let's go through the regions here. In the South first, you had most of the teams, were active here, which is always fun. So that's right. So Auburn, they look like shit to start, dude. I was like, oh my God, Alabama State, they were game. They were playing them really good. Auburn then closed the half, pushed it to 10, and eventually won the game by 20, but they were like a 31-point favorite. So good for Alabama State, who was a play-in game, and they're the ones who won on did you see that play? The full court pass?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this too bad was St. Francis, I think they beat. So
yes, I believe so.
That was a tough one because they really had it was just kind of a jump ball. It's kind of like the Bears when they screwed up against Washington.
Yeah, literally, it was shades of the Fail Mary. Yeah.
Yeah. A&M, they actually played well against Yale. It really wasn't that much very close. They won, by 9, covered the number. Yale was a kind of a darling pick for a lot of people, including, your host here. So good for A&M to flex their muscles. Michigan, we talked about them. This was a little more detail. At one point, they're up by 15 points in this game. Like they had control of this basketball game. They're the guy I like, Tate Jones, who's the stellar guard for UC San Diego, was in foul trouble. He's on the bench. All of a sudden, these other kids just started balling, dude. I mean, they just got it all the way back. They actually took the lead in the game.
Yeah.
But Michigan, they couldn't, San Diego couldn't keep them off the glass. Like, what's his name? Flag got that big rebound and then 2 free throws, and then they missed the last shot to tie the game. And they 68-65, which guess what? It's a cover, everybody. So Michigan wins and covers.
That is fair. Yeah, definitely have to sweat that out.
Yeah. And then Creighton, this was the first game of the day. It was funny. I bet you can bet like first to 10, first to 15, first to 25. I just do 15. I was like, okay, Creighton first to 15. They're going to lose this game. I bet on Louisville. It was the only favorite I bet on. And then, of course, Louisville wins the first to 15 and then proceeds to get smashed in the game. So Creighton played so well. They look good. They look like they'll be a tough game against Auburn, which should be fun.
They probably had the best day yesterday, honestly. They were the first game, but they probably were the best-looking team out of everybody yesterday, I think.
Well, their offense is so good when they're rolling, and they did that last year. It's just the defense. Can they keep up? We'll see if Auburn needs to wake up. They can't be starting off like they did against Alabama State against Creighton.
And Doug McDermott cooking them up. I mean, he's he's really good play design. They were talking about that on the broadcast. Like they were like, I don't know how many games I've done of his, but it seems like he's like the Kyle Shanahan of college basketball. It sounds like
super bright guy. I've been there a long time. So we got some games in that group today. So Friday is the Iowa State Lipscomb game. Iowa State's a 14-point favor, 143-point total. I put a little cheddar cheese on Lipscomb to cover that number. Okay. I think I got 14.5. So I'm hoping today will be the opposite, right? Let's go back to the little bit more. There were some little upsets. I mean, we'll talk about them, but not as major as you might think. So let's get it. But I'm not going money line just to throw the money away. Hopefully they do win. But.
Flipping that switch. Yeah, we'll see if we can get some madness actually today. We only had one piece of madness yesterday. One dose of madness, you'd say.
That's right. And then UNC is playing Ole Miss. I guess I'm not that surprised, but they're favored in the game now. So they won the game big, obviously, on Tuesday night. It's a little unique that they got an extra day of rest. Usually it's just they should have played Thursday. I'm not sure why they did this scheduling. Again, maybe a little favorable for the Heels. The Heels are 1.5-point favorites, 155.5-point total. Should be a fun up and down game. Ole Miss, I mean, I've picked against them for a while. They've been not covering numbers, but we'll see. UNC might turn into a pumpkin if they, obviously leave in Dayton.
Yeah, we'll see. I think now's the time to jump on Ole Miss. I think now if you're going to do it, now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because what was that? I wonder what that line would have been a couple days ago when they didn't know the opponent.
Well, I'm sure they would be the favorite. They're the higher seed, right?
Yeah, that's what you would think. So,
but after like the 30-point blowout, they're like, "Oh, UNC is really good." I think UNC is going to be game in this one, but I would definitely look at live betting here because if UNC jumps out early, get Ole Miss. This is kind of my little game now to try to make up some dough. Okay, so then Saturday, obviously,
it's good strategy.
The Sunday teams we won't know yet, but the Saturday ones we knew some good matchups. Michigan's going to play Texas A&M, and so A&M's a 2.5-point favor, 140.5-point total. That should be a really good game, and I'm not sure A&M took care of Yale. The big thing with Michigan is their guards suck. They can't handle the ball. They've got two great bigs. So if A&M can, and they've got some big bodies, so we'll see how that shapes up. I'd probably lean to A&M there, but I don't necessarily trust them either. It'd be an interesting game.
I also think the Big Ten's going to get their loss with Michigan, Going against the Big Ten trend. Okay.
We'll see. Well, they've got some more games today, so we'll see if they come through. And then we talked about already Creighton versus Auburn. Auburn's a healthy 9-point favorite there. I definitely think the dog has some life there.
Oh, yeah.
Creighton.
Love that number.
So we moved to the East. BYU looked really good. I didn't put their score here, but they played well. I thought that they were going to have more trouble against VCU, and it was close early. But BYU's offense is so efficient, and they're really good. they really never were in jeopardy, especially in the second half. So BYU moves on, and they look pretty good. And then
They shot
Wisconsin,
50% yesterday too from the field.
not bad. I
Pretty
mean,
good.
are you going to get a headband? I should wear a headband, like Richie, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
Richie Johnson, or whatever. You guys, there's Saunders. He's got the headband. I'm like, we were teasing. I was like, that dude probably is 25. He's got 2 kids, and he's been on a mission. Like he has a whole life behind him already.
Oh, literally, he's already lived. Yeah.
And then Wisconsin, we talked about them. They didn't cover the first half against Montana. Thank you, one cover. But they took care of business in the second half, and they just kind of took apart the 157th ranked Montana Grizz.
Yeah. And they shot 55%. Wisconsin did.
Well, I knew that Montana wasn't going to play any defense, so that was a good one. That was an easy over. And then you've got Arizona. Today you've got Arizona versus Akron. That's kind of a sweetheart pick for
That game hit the under, by the way. That Wisconsin game.
Oh, that was the under?
Yeah.
I think I ended up doing live betting and got a different number and hit the over. So that's kind of what I, Mr. Jimmy, Jimmy in game is
strategy. Yeah.
So let's put this. I didn't put this in. Stupid notes. Okay, so Arizona's a healthy 14.5-point favorite against Akron. This is one of those kind of darling potential upsets. Do you think you're going to get on board with the Zips?
The way the tournament's been going, no. Like, there's only been one really. Other than that, it's been a lot of chalk. And I mean, Caleb Love, he's got to have a tournament, right? Like, I think it's time. I mean, a lot of the teams you've talked about, you said have had really bad guard play, and yet they're still winning by 15, 20 points. So imagine if a team with a really good guard, what they could do. Yeah. So, I like Arizona here.
Okay. This is going to be. I of course, depends on how I do. I'll probably put a little cheddar cheese on the dog because let's live a little. But yeah, Arizona, if they play well, they should take care of business. The only game in this region actually that's playing on Saturday is the BYU Wisconsin game. But this is what you wanted, right? You're like, yeah, let's do it. And so that Wisconsin's a very short 1-point favorite there, but 155-point total. So I'm assuming you like the over in that game.
Yeah, and I like BYU because it fits to their schedule. Like I said, they can't play on Sunday, so I just thought that was interesting. They're going to make them play on Saturday.
Yeah, I like BYU too. I love this team all season, so I will definitely be on them. 1 point is not that much move there, but we'll do it.
You think they work at Chick-fil-A in the off season? I mean, just because it fits that schedule. I mean, that would make sense, right?
Makes sense. Makes sense when they're not having children and going to church.
Okay.
Oh man. Anyway, let's go to the Midwest. This was Houston rolled. Houston looked like a true number one. They beat the hell out of them 78-40. The game was never close. Tennessee actually looked pretty good too. I was a little surprised they looked this good. They 77-62. They won. Wofford's a team that's supposed to slow everything down. And guess what? This went over the total.
Yeah.
Damn it. So yeah. And then Purdue, as we mentioned, against High Point, look, they just kind of outlasted that team and kind of like UC San Diego, they used their size. They got all the rebounds. I mean, I watched the first start of that game. They had eight offensive rebounds in the first 2 minutes of the game. I'm like, when are they going to get them off the glass? And
Purdue had 45 rebounds, and High Point had 24 in the game. To your point. Yeah.
Look at that. What do you know? When I was a coach and a player, I mean, rebound differential usually determined outcomes for the most part.
Plus 21. That's insane. That's crazy.
And you don't even need to look at the stat sheet. You watch the game for 5 minutes. You're like, Jesus, get them. How many times? They had like 4 or 5 shots of possession. I'm like, it was just tough.
And Purdue only had 8 more shots. That's what's fascinating. Or 9 more shots.
Yeah, High Point was like, they were right there. They cut it to 3. I don't know, at one point. It was interesting. But come on. Like, just get a rebound. I'm like, this is me watching games with me. Get a rebound, just screaming at the TV. All right, so today in this one, you've got Kentucky against Troy. Kentucky's 11.5 point favorite, 151.5 point total. I think Kentucky is a fraud. They're frauds. I think they're frauds, as you said. I think they're a flawed 3 seed. I just don't know if Troy can get there. They're a grind team. This total indicates that they think they're going to run out. Troy can't run with this team. They need to slow this team down and grind it and keep it. I don't like it. I may have to lay. I'll probably stay away from this game, but this may be a favorite matchup here.
Yeah, I think the depth of Kentucky is going to be the big problem. I mean, Kentucky's got 6 guys on the roster that average double digits in points. I mean, it's hard to find that when you get to a Troy. You know what I mean? So I just feel like the depth here is going to be the big issue. I mean, Troy has 2 guys that average more than 10 points a game. So I think the depth is going to be a big issue. I mean, even if Troy finds a way to pull this off, there's no way they pull it off in the second round just because of, tired legs, etc.
Right. And then we get the big one tonight, 6:45 local. It's 8:45 for you guys. Xavier against Illinois. Illinois is a 3-point favorite. Look at this total, 161 point total. Oh, your ex going to give it to you? Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go, Illinois. This is this dark horse you're talking about. The dark horse. So all I know is there's going to be points scored. I don't know if 161 is enough. So Xavier has the advantage of playing in the tournament, just not in this venue. So this is in Milwaukee. It's almost like a home game for Illinois.
Yeah. I mean, they shot 48% from 3 in their first game. And Dayton, they even kind of credited the crowd for their second half comeback. They're not going to have the crowd in this game. So it'll be interesting. But I still think they could find a way to pull it off. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll be on Illinois, but obviously I'm rooting for your underdogs because I'm a dog guy.
They're playing in Milwaukee, I think, so it might be a home game for Illinois. Yeah,
that's what I said. Yeah, everybody's going to drive up there. It's close. So then on Saturday, we know some matchups. You've got McNeese playing Purdue. Purdue's a 6-point favorite, 143.5 point total. McNeese look good. They look really good. That was the upset. They look really good. So I don't know. I think they're game in this game. Yeah.
They kind of looked faulty down the stretch, though. Like the last 8 minutes of that game, they looked very suspect.
Of course, because all of a sudden Clemson decided to put the ball in the hole. But Purdue will score. I think it's going to be a good game. I think the 6 point seems a little heavy to me, and obviously Purdue knows what to expect. This team didn't, not going to surprise you. But a lot of people like this McNeese team. We'll see. We'll wait.
They do have 6 guys that average right around or that average more than 10. They've got one guy at 9.9, another guy at 9.2, and then 4 that are clearly over 10 points a game. So to your point, they can score. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. This next one's the matchup, dude. You guys talk me out. I can't believe I listened to Actual Georgia. I don't know what I was doing. I said Zags. What the hell was I doing? Why did I back off?
I told you they could score.
That was an easy money line loss. But anyway, Zags play Houston. Houston's a 5-point favorite, 140 point total. I think it's going to be an awesome game. I love this game. Houston will show me in this game because what's on the line, the Zags have the longest Sweet 16 streak in college basketball. It's like, I don't know, like 15 or 14, 15 in a row or something. So let's see. This rubber meets the road. So, I'll probably be on the dog there too.
Yeah, if that offense shows up, that's going to be the great thing is, they're looking for their 10th straight Sweet 16,
10.
by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to be this great offense against this great defense, and it's like basically a good pitcher against a good offense. So I'm curious to see who's going to prevail. If Gonzaga shoots the way they did in the first game, I don't know if Houston has a chance.
Yeah, Houston, they're a great team, so I think they're going to score. It's going to be close. It's going to be a close one. This is a 2-possession game for the point spread. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So
they scored 48 points in the first half against Georgia. If they scored, they score anywhere near that, it's over. Houston is going to struggle to get to 70. So we'll see.
All right, and then in the West we had St. John's. We talked about them. This was a perfect example. Jimmy Wegs in game. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to bet St. John's minus whatever it was, 19. I'm going to, in the second half, the line dropped to like 15 and a half. And I also took the under because that, the total was up a little bit. Oh, guess what? They won by 30. It was the biggest win in St. John's tournament history. And that did stay under the total, but that was a sweat. That was like, I was looking at it. Come on, they're dribbling it out the clock. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it was just a bad first half. They just didn't shoot very well. They scored 33 points and they put a 50 burger in the second half. So,
right. And then we got Texas Tech. I say barely survived. They won by 10, but this game was this game was down the stretch, like they were clenching it. I was like, oh my God, is Texas Tech going to be the first real big loss? 3 seed, blah, blah. Nope. UNC Wilmington, the Seahawks, they fell a little short, and Texas Tech hit their free throws and won this game. They didn't cover the number.
Yeah, they actually got out rebounded by UNCW,
Wow.
by the way. So just something to keep an eye on moving forward in the tournament. And then they only shot 39% from the field. So including 13 of 46 from the 3-point land. That's not going to
get it done. It's not going to get it done.
Wegsy, they had 23 twos. They attempted 23 twos in this game.
23,
That's it. Huh? Yeah, because they were 27 of 69 and they were 13 of 46. So there's literally a disparity of 23 twos. That's crazy.
That's insane. So Drake, they actually were could you call it an upset 11 seed, but they did what they do. They controlled this game from the jump. Missouri was down pretty big actually at one point. This was a rocking chair, this easy win for Drake. So they got the money line, and they got then they did the under, because they always do the under in this one.
Yeah.
But actually, did this one go over? Was this 133?
133 and a half. Yeah.
So they went.
It was an under game. That was an under game.
Under. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this was another one. I actually did the over because it went to one. I got down to 120. So I hit the over in the in game. So this was like, I'm just playing these games out here. I'm just like trying to claw my way back to profitability.
Yeah. So today, Bennett played well. 21 points for Drake. Yeah. 31 wins for the Bulldogs now. Pretty good.
They're really good. So we get Colorado State today. They're playing against Memphis. They are the 2-point favorites here, 147-point total. I've seen it down to 1.5. So of course I'm getting on the Rams, but I'm getting a little nervous. So that's okay. Hopefully they play well. Mountain West has not played well, which is not surprising. But what are you going to do? What about Maryland Grand Canyon? Maryland's a 4-point favorite in this one, 150-point total. Do you think the Fighting Braceroos, the Antelopes, can keep it close with Maryland, or is it going to be another cover fest for Big Ten?
No, I just take the over. I think Maryland's probably going to win, but I like the over here. Grand Canyon's got four starters. Yeah, 4 starters that average over 10 a game. I like the over. I think they're going to score. Maryland's last game against Michigan obviously went, they had the buzzer beater, but they both scored 80. So I like the 149.5. I like the over in this game.
Okay. And then Oklahoma, UConn should be an interesting one. Can UConn get home? They're 5.5-point favorites, 148-point total. I like the total over here. I think Oklahoma's going to score. UConn doesn't play great D, and UConn's going to score pretty easily too. I know I picked UConn or Oklahoma because I'm a dog guy, but I'm sure stupid the Fighting Danny Hurleys will get this one done, much to my chagrin.
I would probably agree. Is he rattled though? Because now he's yelling at fans with him and Creighton and all that kind of stuff going on this year. So is he a little rattled, or is he just kind of taking a victory lap? Do you think
he's a piece of garbage? I don't like him. It's just look. I'm the greatest coach ever. You had 2 great NBA roster teams, and now you can't do anything. I had this argument with Scotty Green. I'm like, via text. I'm like, dude, they're not that good. He's a great coach. I'm like, screw them. So this is going to be the one. If they win, I'm going to get the text from Scotty Green. See, I'm like, they beat Oklahoma. If they beat the 1 seed, talk to me about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we going to do?
That's fair.
On Saturday, we've got Arkansas against St. John's. This is what we wanted. John Calipari versus Pitino. St. John's a 7-point favorite, 144-point total. I thought this would be a little bit shorter favorite. A little nervous about St. John's in this one, but I will say with Arkansas getting home, which was obviously I got that one. They almost blew it at the end. They couldn't get the ball in bounds. Did you see this? They had to call 2 timeouts to get the goddamn ball involved. Like the kid didn't know he could run the baseline. Like, what are we doing, Calipari? Coach these guys. So that's where I think St. John's is going to win the game. I just think Pitino's a better in-game coach. It's just, can they cover the number?
Yeah, he talked about it after the presser. He's like, we could have taken a 4th one if we really wanted to. He's like, the big thing is we didn't turn the ball over. And I'm like, okay, that's a fair point. Because you see it all the time where they'll just panic and, so at least he knew a little bit of the situation, but obviously didn't know the full situation. So we're dealing with kids, Wegsy. We got to remember that. They're just kids.
I know. They're just children.
Kids.
He's 18.
They're just kids.
Run the baseline, for God's sakes.
I would definitely take the under in this game, though, because Kansas went to a zone in this game, which they hadn't
Yeah.
really played all year, and it kind of really screwed with Arkansas. So I
I saw that.
I think Rick Pitino will take a little bit of that, and because Arkansas didn't shoot very well, so there's a lot of dribble drive in the very beginning of that game was kind of where Arkansas established a dominance. So
Right.
we'll see.
And then we've got Drake against Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a 7.5-point favorite, 127-point total. Look at that total. They know this game is going to be a rock fight. I know that Tech's got the big dudes, but I think his favors Drake. I think they can really, be efficient and frustrate Texas Tech. And you saw it last night. There was a chance, right? They had it. So you're saying there's a chance, but I think that Drake is a better version of UNC Wilmington. So I think I'm going to go with the dog in that one. 7.5 seems like a big number.
They do have the best player. They got Bennett. And he shoots right around 50%. So if you do get your rock fight, they probably have the best shooter on the court. So if you need a bucket at the end of the game, it's more likely going to come from that guy.
Exactly. So, well, that wraps it up. What do we got? You're moving this weekend, right?
Oh yeah. Hopefully getting all that situated, taken care of. So yeah, good time.
Good stuff.
When do you you said you fly back when?
Tomorrow night, red eye. Woohoo!
Okay.
That's gonna be fun. And then Artemis Prime is hitting town about 8. He'll hopefully make the show at 9. And then
is he
we'll
flying
be
back
rolling
tomorrow
bones.
too?
He's flying back on Sunday.
Okay, I was gonna say, is he doing a day trip? Like hell yeah, a 24-hour Vegas. Hell yeah, Art.
I did see that Jeremy Mower, who's a volleyball guy, Mr. Rip Dabs guy. He's only coming out for 48 hours. He's coming out today for 48 hours. I'm not going to see him, but he's he's hanging out with his buddies. It's Vegas, baby. 48 hours. Who needs that?
Yeah,
trust me,
time.
my voice will be gone by Sunday anyway. I got to come back anyway.
Yeah. Well, if you keep winning at that craps table, they're going to kick you out.
They will.
They're going to tell you not to come back.
Sorry, sir. No, I gave a little back when I came back to Flamingo. Don't worry. I was like, here, let me just try roll one more time and lose $200. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You gotta get on those bubble craps at that time. You know what I mean? That's where it is. Yeah.
But yeah, we should get him. He's promised that he'll be on next week. So let's see if we can hold him to that to do the horse racing segment before the Sweet 16. So
nice.
Okay.
Yeah, because we can always just record it and drop it later. So that's not a bad idea.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea. Okay, well, follow us at Side Action Pod on X and Side Action Podcast on Instagram. Don't forget about our TikTok feeds. You'll love the TikTok. Follow me at Wegspool on X and on Instagram.
Yeah, make sure you interact with those bots. Everybody loves them. And I'm Coop. You can check me on Instagram at Dalton Cooper and on X at Mr. Grumpy Gills. Again, we are the Side Action Podcast. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe wherever you get us, and happy betting. Right? I mean, I'm waiting to see if that trend's going to flip. I'm hoping all the underdogs come today. We get all the madness. Jimmy Wegs gets real hot. There it is. Rides off into the sunset.
Jimmy Wegs getting hot. That's what we want to do. So, all right.
Love you guys.
Well, let's sign off. Peace.